This is a huge episode for today's Fresh Start World video, and of course we're taking a look at everything that we've done on my account so far, and of course working towards getting our account as high level as possible, showcasing some of the training methods you can use and some of the strategies you can use as well on your own Fresh Start World account. So first things first, what did we do following the previous episode, which you can take a look at if you haven't already. It's on the channel, so there's a playlist all set up. But effectively what we did is get ourselves to the point where we can complete smoking kills. But remember, the problem is that we needed 25 crafting, and so we went on, got ourselves smoking kills requirements, which was that crafting XP, and now we have everything. And from that point, we then go ahead and we go try complete smoking kills. Of course, that's super useful for when you want to craft a Slayer helmet and when you want to get everything for that, and try and go for all of the kind of Slayer achievements. And ultimately what we did in this kind of episode is go towards all of the upgrades, all of the Slayer kind of levels that we were hoping to get. We went all the way up to level 50, and one task that I found massive, and in fact I only completed 2 different tasks at this point, from unlocking Simona on the kind of Polonevich teleport, whatever you want to call it, the Polonevich Slayer Master, and after completing smoking kills. And that's because we can then get these tasks, which are grotworms, and grotworms are one of the best tasks you can do currently at these low levels because they reward so much experience. But remember, at the moment I'm just taking out the standard grotworms, but as you go through and you kind of level up your account, which I'd highly recommend you do, in terms of get your combat stats, you don't have to go all the way to 99. It's almost pointless to do that since you can train Slayer and get the actual XP to get to 99. And get the DPS boost, or the boosts even. And as you go through, you'll be able to unlock a variety of different things. You'll notice here that these grotworms are dropping some food, which was nice since my cooking level and my fishing level were terrible at this point on the account. So going forward and just picking up some of the food for when we do some higher level Slayer creatures. And in fact, when we then moved on to the mature grotworms, which I did do as part of this task, I'm not sure if it's actually shown. But the mature grotworms are basically high level versions. They're like 110, I believe, somewhere in that region, combat level, and they can hit pretty hard for a low level account. But we went through and we completed the grotworms task. Obviously the higher level the creature, the more Slayer experience you get, and actually I just did those for a while. But one of the best tasks you can possibly do as a Slayer kind of player, and you're trying to level up your Slayer, is actually cow fights, and you can see that right here. And we blitzed cow fights. Of course, it gives you a ton of stuff. You are basically can safe spot them as well, and if you've got the boosts as well, picking up the boon of regeneration, I believe it's called, where it'll regen your prayer points and also regen your hit points as well at the same time. And we basically just safe spotted some of the cow fights. You can do both at the same time, depends how AFK you want to do it. But all you have to do is literally set yourself to auto retaliate, go in this corner here, and they for some reason cannot get past these 2 rocks that you can see, and you can DPS them down, and you're getting ridiculous amounts of Slayer XP as you see loads and loads of levels going up through as we're taking these things out. I think they reward you with like a couple hundred Slayer experience per one. And that means you can get like multiple, well, like tens of thousands of XP an hour. And that's mad, especially if you're doing it full kind of active. I personally wasn't doing it full active, but it was really, really fun to do. And we earned a ton of Slayer experience as we went through. Of course, what I highly recommend you do as a player if you're going for the high Slayer levels is get yourself to the point where you can get these cow fight tasks and then just complete these. Either like if you could prefer them, if you've got the points to be able to do it, maybe at the mid levels. Obviously, as you get higher through the Slayer levels, there becomes way better ways of training than doing cow fights. But at this sort of level, this is the task that you want to be able to level up. And of course, it does give you some herbs as well. So if you have, if you're trying to train up some of your herblore, then maybe you'd want to use it. If you've got the kind of the boon that allows you to teleport stuff to the bank, maybe it would be useful, and you could teleport some of these to the bank. And yeah, it's one of the best things that you can have. I really did enjoy using or doing these Kalphite Slayer tasks, and of course they get you up the levels massively. If one thing that I've always found out about RuneScape is a lot of people, they go towards, 99 kind of melee stats, or they go towards 99 magic, but a lot of the time they then forget about Slayer, and they're kind of just sat there doing something else, and they're not really focusing on doing that, which is obviously not the best thing that you can do, and it's going to end up with you having to redo some of the low tier Slayer tasks, which, trust me, is way worse when you've got really, really good stats and you're having to fight things like, I don't know, like a goblin or something of that level. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing. But we finish up the Slayer task. We get 50 Slayer so far. And then at this point, I'm just trying to slowly work up through some of the levels in divination and smithing and all of the other kind of skills, crafting as well, that are going to then allow me to get some actual points as well, which is nice in terms of progress points. But it also allows me then to move towards getting ourselves invention at some point. Now, I'm not going to say that I've got it already, because I haven't, but obviously you need 80 in divination, you need it in smithing, and you also need it in crafting to be able to unlock invention, which, of course, we're a long way off at this point, since none of our stats are above even level 40 or anything like that. So yeah, we went through, we did the low tier divination levels. It's super AFK, super easy to do, and you guys can of course do that as well. I really did enjoy doing some of these divination, did it on the weekend, and we just worked through this kind of as fast as we can, try and get those levels out, and yeah, maybe we'll work on that in the next episode, which comes out every other day. I'm hoping to do that. This video is slightly late, but hopefully you guys aren't too upset, and we've got quite a lot of stuff in this episode. If you kind of are thinking about trying to train up and do all your skills, a lot of people focus on one skill, they do that all the way to level 99, and then they end up kind of a little bit burnt out. I highly recommend you kind of get a load of different skills. What I always did was work towards something like Prifdinous, where it requires you to get set skill level requirements, so things like agility, stuff like that. And if you can do that at the same time, it's going to enable you to unlock certain content that might be super annoying if you've got all of the levels, but then you realize you've got to do a quest at some point to unlock this item that's going to really help you out. And you can end up kind of being stuck in a bit of a rut where you're having to do like low level skills like agility and train them all the way to like level 72. Whereas if you go along and you do it in small chunks, and you're kind of working towards mini quests in between then, that you can kind of level up your account and get towards various different stages of the quest lines, then it's going to make it so much easier when you have to then grind out some of the levels. But it's Fresh Start Worlds has definitely been an adventure for me. I actually went through and I did all of the kind of low level kind of tasks that you have to do for the adventures. Obviously, if you haven't already, doing your daily challenges, or at least completing these basic challenges, is super important. You can do these. They're really easy. Get through the basic ones, and then they give you daily challenges then for the rest of the time that you play RuneScape. No matter what level you are, they always reset every single time when it reaches 12 o'clock in-game time at night, if you know what I mean. But yeah, every single new day it releases a new set of challenges. You can see here we're actually doing the daily smithing and all of the crafting ones. It gives you some really good experience, especially if you're a low tier level. You can see us leveling up a little bit, and of course completing some of the extra bits and bobs so that we can complete these daily crafting runs. And then once we've done that, we can get some XP and work towards the next kind of stage of the account, which I'm hoping that will go towards some divination levels, and we'll hopefully get ourselves into some more Slayer as we go through this account. But I'm really working towards getting some money making guides coming out soon, and we're going to be focusing on earning a bit of money, because at the minute in this episode we're down to about 244k, as you can see. So we're really low on cash, and we want to make sure that we're going to be able to buy certain things, buy items without really having to worry all too much. So that's kind of how I'm going with the account so far. Of course, just trying to complete all of these dailies, do everything as optimally as I possibly can at this point, and of course level up some of these low tier skills, as you can see here, picking up some crafting XP as well. So it's all stuff you guys can do. Hopefully if I'm doing anything wrong, you guys will let me know, but I'm trying to make the account as kind of wholesome and actually all-rounded as possible. We're going to go for max on the Fresh Start Worlds account during the time, so yes, it's going to take a long time, but hopefully we'll be able to do it before Fresh Start Worlds ends, and you guys can see how quickly we've been able to get through all of the level 99s. One of the key things that I'm looking at is the farming level, since we haven't really started at this point, so we're going to have to go through and level up that as fast as possible. Now then, in this, then I decided, you know what, maybe it's time that we decided to level up our range, because at the minute we're sitting on level 4, which, yeah, it's not good. So we decided, you know what I'll do is I will get my range level up. We will go towards kind of level 20. So we just went through and we did some of the thrower trolls. And once we'd done that, we then decided to do some Fresh Start Worlds, the kind of Elite Dungeons 3, so we could then go through. So you can see here, we're kind of doing some magic, getting our defense level up because I wanted to get that as high as possible. And then we worked on some range so that we can then get that as high as possible as well, because ultimately the range level, you know, having a more diverse account where you've got certain levels in various different skills is really beneficial, because it just lets you be able to swap between certain Slayer creatures. You know, some are weak to range, some are weak to magic, some are weak to melee, and so being able to swap between them all is of course perfect, and that's what we're kind of aiming towards with the account, so that we can do that higher tier level Slayer and stuff like that. Of course, you can see here we've blitzed through and jumped forward quite a bit, and we're at level 50 range. So yeah, we've kind of gone through and smashed it out. But yeah, next episode we may go for some of the attack levels and of course go through some of the other extras. But of course, if you have anything you want me to do, if you want me to try some other bossing in a episode coming up soon, then I will do that, and you guys can see me fail my way through a variety of different bosses. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you want to be around for when the next video goes live, just remember to subscribe, because it will notify you. It really helps out the channel as well, and me personally, so thank you very much. And of course, like or dislike it dependent on if you did. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.